Have you ever really stopped to wonder how Google actually decides which local business gets to show up first? It's a question that honestly keeps a ton of business owners up at night. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and break down exactly how that decision is made and what it really takes for Google to pick you.
You know, it is one of the most frustrating things in the world for a local business owner. You see your business on the map, maybe you're even showing up pretty high in the search results, but crickets. The phone just isn't ringing. And all the while, you just know your competitor down the street is completely swamped with calls. So what gives? Well, it turns out just being seen by Google isn't nearly the same as being chosen. So, to really get this, we're going to walk through 5 key ideas together. We'll kick things off with something called the visibility trap. And then, we're going to shift our whole way of thinking from ranking to recommendation. After that, we'll look at the 3 simple questions Google always asks, find out where it's looking for the answers, and finally, figure out how to become the business that it chooses every single time. Okay, let's dive right in. We need to start with the biggest misunderstanding that holds so many businesses back. I like to call it the visibility trap. You see, most of us think about Google like it's some kind of giant sports league table. You know, there's a number 1 spot, a number 2, and so on, and we think our entire job is just to fight and claw our way to the top of that list. But here's the thing. That's not how local search works at all. And chasing that imaginary number 1 spot is often the very reason the phone isn't ringing. So, this brings us to the most crucial point. We need to make a huge shift in our mindset. It is not about competing for a ranking, it's about earning a recommendation from Google.
On one side, you've got the old way, this constant, exhausting battle to climb a ladder that doesn't really exist. And on the other, you have the new, way more effective approach, just focusing on becoming the business that Google can recommend with absolute confidence. So, why is that so important to Google? Well, it's because Google's number 1 goal in local search is risk reduction. See, every single time it sends a searcher to a business that's closed, or does a shoddy job, or just gives them a bad experience, Google's own reputation takes a hit. So its main job is to make a safe, reliable recommendation. It's playing defense, really. Okay, so to make that safe bet, Google's super complex algorithm really just boils down to a pretty simple 3-question process for every local search someone makes. First, it asks, is this business even irrelevant, right? Does it actually do the thing the person is looking for? That's the what. Second, is it close enough? Pretty straightforward, that's the where. And finally, and this is the most important one, it asks, can this business be trusted? This is the why. And folks, this is the question that changes everything. Think of it like this. Relevance and distance, they're just the first 2 filters. They help Google make a quick short list of potential businesses. But trust, that's the real deciding factor. Once it has that shortlist, Google picks the one business it feels the most confident about sending its user to. And that leads us to the next obvious question, right? If trust is the big decider, where on earth is Google looking for proof? Well, it finds the signals it needs in a few key places. Google pretty much acts like a detective, gathering evidence from 4 main sources. It carefully inspects your Google business profile, it reads the content on your website, it analyzes what your customers are saying in reviews, and it checks for consistency of your business info all across the web. Each of these needs to tell the exact same clear, trustworthy story. And what's really fascinating is where Google places the most weight. Just look at this. Your Google business profile and your customer reviews, when you add them up, they account for more than half of all the ranking factors. That is a massive slice of the pie. Just focusing on these 2 things alone puts you miles ahead of most of your competitors. And when we talk about reviews, we're not just talking about the star rating. I mean, a review that just says, great service is nice, but it tells Google almost nothing. But a review that says, they came out and quickly fixed the leak under our kitchen sink, now that is incredibly valuable. It's like training data. It literally teaches Google what you're really good at, which makes it way more confident in recommending you for that specific job next time. And that brings us to consistency. And this is so simple, but wow, is it powerful. When your business name, address, and phone number are perfectly identical everywhere you look online, you can be up to 40% more likely to show up in that local map pack. And why is that? It's because any inconsistency, even a small one, creates doubt. And as we've already learned, Google avoids doubt at all costs. So let's bring all of this together now.
The goal isn't to trick some algorithm or climb a non-existent ladder. It's simply to make your business the obvious, simple, low-risk choice for Google to recommend to its users. And this is what that recommendable business looks like in Google's eyes. It has a complete and meticulously accurate Google business profile. It has a genuinely helpful website that clearly lays out its services and service area. It has a steady flow of recent, detailed reviews. And its core business info, name, address, phone number, is perfectly identical everywhere you look. There are no gaps, no contradictions, just clarity. At the end of the day, this is the big takeaway. It's not about being the flashiest business or having the most optimized website. It's about being the clearest and the most consistent. When you remove every shred of doubt and ambiguity, you make it incredibly easy for Google to trust you. And the business Google trusts is the business that gets the call. So the key is to shift your focus away from ranking and toward becoming the most trustworthy and recommendable choice in your area. If you found this breakdown useful, go ahead and subscribe for more practical insights just like this. And if you'd like some expert help to make your business the obvious choice, you can visit the team at Proper Marketers. Thanks so much for watching.